Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shadow clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a gold mountain, flame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Saviour having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one gone to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. The heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagavan was dwelling on massive Vulture's Mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perfection. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara. How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Sharadvatiputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and past. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable perfect complete enlightenment, in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Tayata gate gate paragate parasangate bodhisoha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Short Mandala offering. Usashi puke chukshe ne chokcham, rira lingshi nire gampadi, sangye shingu me te uagi, chokunam dakshin la chapasho. Jetsun lama dampa kenanki, choku kala kinse chendrigne, jita sampe du chezen mala, sakye choki chapa baptuso, idam guru ratna mandala kam niryatayami.
Sanje chodan soji chanan la chanjo bado dani jasum Sagi chujin jive sonam ki dola benje sanje dogorai Sanje chodan soji chanan la chanjo bado dani jasum Sagi chujin jive sonam ki dola benje sanje dogorai Sanje chodan soji chanan la chanjo bado dani jasum Sagi chujin jive sonam ki dola benje Gobarai show Kanga the Zenizan, the one who is on my nation. Kodam de la Jade La, the mini version of the Gana, she is in the country. Chana Vema de Yazana, God of the Zenizan show, but then the Lama Ramazan. Euro Beme, Nijan, and Godin Jimbe, Chanjusum Joramboje, Majevan, Javanyama Memoria, Gonevan, the Show. That Gulon Gomdik Siji captures.
So now we do a motivation meditation.
Ada gawa gomswa.
Now rejoice.
Ada breathing exercise tanga use just.
Okay, so we'll do breathing exercise 20 times.
Vayata. Yujunga shevasta. Kazana dingo langanzo suk tore ongbonga teanga ani chugiji suk chije suk labo mungdo shewa ani suk dije ge so di junga re jedan junga di yujunga shewa junga tenga sa chu me longdo junga se gora o di yujunga shewa ju khare jure la di kondu ta suk chuk chik dore ongbo shi suk na ongbonga chugiji suk chuk chik yorwa de suk 또 숙디게다 나네 숙락바디게다 숙락베 주시기요는 좀 쉐바스.
So now we're looking further into form, and we've been looking at form so far. And we've been looking at form in terms of the like 5 objects and the 5 sense faculties or powers, and these are all then now we're going to look at the cause of all of these, and the cause of these is said to be the 4 elements. So when we're talking about the form, we're talking about the 11 types of form. So the 5 objects, the 5 powers or faculties, sense powers or sense faculties, and the mental object form. So these are the 11.
아니 수풍부 넘버 샤마 칸시나 세바 수풍부 수풍부 사데 칸데레스나 따디 네 수칸이 바디 지야로데 데탐지 중화침부 시다 중화침부 실을 때네 아니 수드데 총레스 제디 셰샤세다 그다음 수디 네 수코랑 칸데레 라윤데 수그 넘버 샤디 조 수디 네 중화의 규체제 중화 첨부 규체니 중국 요거 인자 아니 대 숙차야 당에 이게 만차 중규냐로
So if we're now on page 125, there's a quote there from the Compendium of Abhidharma, and it says, what is that? What is it that is presented as the aggregate of form? It refers to anything that is capable of materiality. Everything including the four great elements and those that are derived from the four great elements. So essentially this is presenting, if you ask the question, what is it that is form? Put simply, you could say it's these four great elements and everything that arises from those four great elements. That's what's meant by form.
다들 숙들 예와니 규중화 당 아니 대 규체월에 되네 중규지링다 규단 되부서르지라다 야 예와 체샤베나 아니 숙들 규중화체와 중화시들 규체 아니 대 규체월 규중화시대 규체월에 되네 중외 아니 중규지 숙체제 숙들 되니 야 예와도 치료를 했지.
So then we go on to look at what is the division of form. And it says here that all phenomena are included in two classes of material form, namely the four primary elements and the resultant or derivative forms that arise from their accumulation. So this can be looked at in terms of cause and result. So you could say that these four great elements would be the causal form, and then everything that is derivative from that or arises due to that becomes the resultant form. So you could, in a sense, you could say it's like causal form and resultant form. These are the two divisions of form.
Alright, then 속 탐제 디니스 도레스타 속 예와체유나 예와 디니나나 뒤로 그래. 견제 가rel라나 아니 규수데라 중화 시체. 근데 대다 되벌레 지금 되베 속삼 이는 중규리지 속라서 수소 대응하다 미소 엉벙가서 와서 수소 대응하다 속다 뒤로 장하다 속뒤로래 장하다 들어와 아니 미소 엉벙디 미가 엄나오 좀 미경 엉벙아 뒤에디 수라고 뒤에디 아니 뒤에디 중규레스 지나디 여다도단데 레송을
So all form is categorized within these two categories. These two categories cover all types of form. And how is it that that happens? Well, you can say that the four elements as the causal form, and then everything that arises from that is the result, as we said before. So it says here, the four primary elements and resultant or derivative forms that arise from their accumulation, where the latter consists of the five sensory objects, such as visual form, and the five sense faculties, such as the eye, and so on. So the latter here being that resultant form that derives from these four elements. And again, that can be the objects of the sense powers, or the sense faculties, or objects of the objects of the sense consciousnesses, or the sense faculties or powers.
대다라다 수진이 최단제 베나 참모사관레 라과도가 당스 뒤된 주모서벌레 수진 라과도에 남줄 민다와 총 수니 반나레 답베나렌데 투모레스타 데셰드디 지거레스 대단 수진이 최단이 두두지 내디 셰발라스 수진이 최진이 두비야게 nen가다오디 셰발라 아니 유중외 남샤 유 가르라데니 중외 남샤디 셰고바디 개정물에 제가 디인자디 나린다고 개배중나라야 니셰샤 다디마 양자 데지 개와직 세기 인송으로다.
So it says here, in brief, Nalanda scholars take as their shared standpoint the material entities emerging from these aggregation of subtle forming the coarser levels of reality, and that it's through the combination of numerous atoms that the derivative forms of coarse everyday objects emerge. So what they go on to explain it in sort of a more detailed way. The Nalanda scholars went on to kind of elaborate on that and explain it in a vaster or more extensive way.
데라 지르스로 중화 줄시주 치주들라다 중화기 줄 치주들라야 아니 마 제바 셰윤디 아니 nga요레스로 템베규당 제베규당 템베규당 네베규당 템베규당 페베규시 중화 요레송으로
So when you do go on to explain it in a vaster, more extensive sort of way, then you can have 5 divisions. So starting on the bottom of page 125, you can say the first one is the generating cause, second one is the supporting cause, the third one is the stabilizing cause, the fourth one is the dependent cause, and the fifth one is the enhancing cause.
다디 마 빼셰도 빼나스로 다리리리 셰르 가르스나 빼나 사회면은 유구미지와 신주스 규중원하면은 되우 숙삼 아니 중규르미 전에 니 깨베 주스 요레스 콜레 뭐라 깨베 주스야디 깨베 주스야디 사회면은 되는 유구제용 거로 제가 어디리다.
So then it goes on to posit an example for this. So if there was no seed, no sprout would arise. So in the same sense, if the supporting 4 primary elements were not there, then the result of that would not arise. The result of the other types of form could not arise without that. Just as there's no way that a sprout could be produced if there was no seed.
다드네 템베 주스야디 포로면은 텔레 템베세 뉴미토가 신주스 중원남나 마템바 레베 숙소 로식도 네베 아니 투메 중원나 마데나나 레베 숙게도 마레스 페나 저 추디 포벌레 땡도 포버드면은 이 추디 대도 마르바스 어디나시 템베 주사 포덴테레스.
So it then goes on to present another example. So it says just as
템베 주다 템베 주 유니와 another example 템베 주 시고도 유니와.
Oh, okay, sorry. The second type of form, which is the supporting form. So the supporting form goes on to use the example of, like, here it says, if there was no bowl, the food supporting it could not exist. So basically would be this, you could use the example of the... Oh, okay, so sorry, I'll read the whole thing from... the primary elements are the supporting cause, in that without the support of the primary elements, derivatives resulting forms cannot separately arise, just as, for example, if there is no bowl, the food supporting it cannot exist. So, like if we had a cup of water, for example, the water could not... The water in that cup is dependent on the cup for its support. So this is the example or analogy that's used for the second type of form, the stabilizing cause.
That's somebody never you said.
Oh, sorry, the supporting one.
Never you somebody Shingjana Segdo Shingjana and a Shing Tima Meva Shindus, Juanam Nyamna and a devil souk nam Yambar Juve and a devil neto mares, never you said the rest of it. Juan your dene. Juven over the Uval Dene and David Network. Juven over the Mana and David Network Mares. When a Shing Jena Shing Tima the Mevchado or Navy.
So the next one, the primary elements that are the third one, the primary elements are the stabilizing cause. In fact, that if the primary elements degenerate, then the form caused by them will also decline, just as, for example, when a tree is cut down, so too its shadow ceases. So in this sense, that without the stabilizing elements, the elements, without those, then the resultant form could not abide. It could not exist. So in this way, well, abide is the word that's used. So without the basis of these 4 elements, then the resultant form could not abide. So that's the third of the 5.
That John Shiri, you see what the share in the Tembe, you said the share in the Pena Gambor, while logging go Porto Bormola, Loge, the Cajula Tangora, Cajula Temata, Cajula Ten and Dotinanshi, Juala, Lange, Junguna, Gejik Chima Jumi Cheva Kiva, and Tembe Jures, Juala Dene, and Rangi, Junguri, Tribuna, Gejing you and Mama, Bang, the mutant Toyade. I go the Gabo Cajula Dene, Dotinanshi, and Tembe Jures.
So, Kenyama Kellogg's Chuma.
The dead were Juana, my Pejana. Gabo Kavala din Doashin, Juan Le, Rangde, Junguri, Nam Gejik Chima Chima, Jumi Cheber, Gevara, and a Tembe Juice, Sebuda.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the wording is quite strange when it says temporal stages of resultant derivatives. So I was just clarifying that. So we're looking at the next sentence. The primary elements are the dependent cause. So this is the fourth one. In that due to the primary elements that the temporal stages of the resulting derivative form arise in succession. For example, an old person moves with the support of a walking stick. So this temporal stages of the resultant derivative is saying that the previous moment supports the next moment, right? So it's a more elaborate way of saying that it's supported by the moment before.
The engineer Tanda Dingin Bedajil Shell. Re. Engineer Tanda Dingin Shell, Bedajil Shell. The whole bedding in a shell.
Yeah, so it's also it's strange the way that it's written, because in the English there's an explanation first and then the example is given. In the Tibetan, the example is given first and then the explanation is given. So it's
example Tanda de Karesna, Tanda de Shea Chedi, Jagora, Tamune Toda Sheshana, example Kazasha. Language.
So yeah, it's a different way of thinking, because if you have the example, then you need the example explained. If it's already been explained and then you give the example afterwards, it doesn't really make sense.
Injila Tagading in a share, Lelha the jelly shigda.
Right.
Previously Lelha the bedding in a share.
Okay.
Tagad the jelly.
So
the big
in the English you give the complicated bit first and then the easy bit. In the Tibetan you give the easy bit first and then the complicated bit. So or more difficult bit. So it's a little bit different.
Big bedding jelly shigda. How the name pave you said that Jungawa the pave you said. Ani Juana Pena, Ani Debu soup, young Pewa Jewish in Osro. That is a Lelaura, Juana Pay when you Debu soup paid over. Jumanja, Pewa Janyara, the chemical paying with that time. Examine Jawachai, the tomato Jawacharo, the Shogo Jawacha, some page, Pisa, pay a man and the Dagang Tegora. Kalala Shinaja or a swamagan to this. Dikazu paid them in the Tagra.
So the next one is. So apparently this one's quite easy, right? The primary elements are the enhancing cause, in that the primary elements are enhanced in their resultant form, the resultant form also displays enhancement. So if the primary elements are enhanced, if the primary elements of the resultant form also develops enhancement. So yeah, that makes sense. So basically this would be an example, like they use various chemicals now to kind of grow, or like vegetables and these sorts of things, much bigger and much larger, or however they grow, what do they give? Hormones to livestock and things like that to grow them bigger. So in the supermarket you see these massive vegetables everywhere, right? So this would be, and this is easy to understand, that would be an example of that. If you increase the cause, then the resultant aspect is increased as well.
Adi kung di she, da kung di de mal re lo mo she tangi thonda she wa ta gara.
So it then goes on to give a quote from the explication of the five aggregates, but we don't need to read every single quote. We've already given them the underlying meaning of that quote. Yeah, so we've given the meaning of that quote.
Gabu the Mabo the Tada, Ning Ninja, Maimba, Ngamu the Juda, 직 창모다 차보다 다도 창마 직 되고 수 한번 나서데 가르래 용네 어르네 저와 사취 메롱 들래 용거 유자 아니 들래 중화세 민디도 스타레서다.
Okay. So it then goes on to talk about what's meant by this primary element. Chungwa is more literally like to derive. So I'll just read the quote. Primary elements are so called because when various types of form arise, it emerges from them. Alternatively, they're called primary elements since such primary elements proliferate as entities. This means that the primary elements that bring such entities into existence and propagate the birth of sentient beings. So basically these primary elements or arisal elements are called as such because the resultant forms such as white, red, beautiful forms, sweets, like sweet taste, sour taste, and so forth, all derive from these these primary elements or these derivative elements.
다 중화 첨부 써야 돼 봐. 얘는 중화단 중화 첨부 쓰는 다 배제는 돼요. 나 중화 첨부 써야 돼 같은다 가래 사디셔는 사추 멜론 실어야다. 시나네 림바시네 사소 셰체발라 세중화. 아니 지 롱셰체발라 롱. 아니 지 콜라야 네 최셰체발라 메. 아니 장어셰 요와진 이제 렌시 셔는 추도 세네네 콜라야 민도 다르 콜 직대래 니네 거기 제레 셀 살라데네 아니 템바드 치그레 추 두바 치그레스 아니 메 민바 치그레스 룽게 아니 요와 치그레스 어딘데게 셰치 중 제레디 아니 셰치 중 예외 차네 아니 콜은 중화 첨보세 다녀데 다브레소다.
So then, just going ahead a little bit to the next paragraph, which says, as for the meaning of the phrase great elements, these elements are caused great because each of them, earth, water, fire, and wind, possesses a greater force of the function of supporting, binding, maturing, and moving. And it says the exposition of 5 aggregates, for example, says, further they are great since the aggregates of earth, water, fire, and wind predominantly function to support. So these great elements, Gondo di Choshi di Junsen Tambo?
Temba.
Okay. So the first reason they actually can be called great is because they're like a basis for the arisal of, or for the production of other forms, or the arisal of other forms, I should say. And then the second reason why you can say they're great is on the basis of their function. So it says here in that quote, but if you jump ahead a couple of pages, there's also a small chart where it explains that the earth element's function is supporting, the water element's function is binding, the fire element's function is maturing, and the wind element's function is increasing.
디네 디 콩디게 데셰 데네마다 중화디 칠레다면도 요와찬니 아니 콩디셰 다데 베나 딘데셰가 말다 콜레 셰시 좀 요래 라디 중화 베나 롱도 버가 베나 롱가 나라야 조와 사추 메디게 숨디 요다로 다 롱코나 요요로하고 롱요요로와
Okay.
롱코나 나라 중화 신다 숨디 요래 사요레 아니 메요레 아니 추요레와 제단다도 나저 하고도 둘로도 시야 룽나 까나 도보감도다 룽나라 메요라 메란시디 요이나 도보감도다 하버드 제다 세부도 하던다 베난델라 카사 디 야가 차와 첨부 요디 룽도 아니 룽 차부도 알아 룽데 차부 쉬지도 하잖아 아니 룽나라 네 추용고요레 룽 최 첨부면은 룽디게 아니야 묵버도 디 캬우도 하면서 상단 룽 캬우도 알아 룽나 룽셰 첨부요나 캬우도 냐 룽나라 수 타고요레 룽망보 대비요나 아니 룽디 제가 중화레레 나라 예나양 아니 중화디게 요레서 왔다 한다
So the Trakpa is Sare.
그거나 그 룽대고도 하고 돼 룽den데 스토어도 돼 봐. 이 사유장 지금요라고 사디 사유장 콜라 투구여라 룽데네 까기도고
Okay, can stop. Okay.
싸게 칠레디가 거 템버레 델레 템버레 근데 룽데네 저거는 델레 저거면도 디 까셔도 돼 가르쳐는 그 룽근나라 싸요가 되고 두구여라
Okay. So, I'm just trying to find. We've just moved ahead a little bit. I'm just trying to find it. Oh, here we go. I believe it starts at the bottom of page 128, where it basically what we're talking about now is when we take one of the elements. So that explains the function. But with each of the elements, each individual element contains all of the other three elements. So wind, for example, also contains earth, fire, and water. However, it's described as wind because that is you could say the predominant element in that case, or the strongest of the four in that situation. But the others are all contained within that element. So, for example, you can see this because the fact that the wind can dry clothes means that this is an example of how it contains the fire element. And we can also see like wind can sometimes be hot. Like if anybody's been in Delhi in summer, that wind is amazingly hot, right? It's like a hairdryer. So you have this potential for wind to be hot. You can also have wind being quite cold. Like if the weather's cold, then and you're out in the wind, you can actually, or if the wind's strong, you can feel quite chilly. So this is how it can contain the water element. It also presents resistance, right? Like if you're walking into a strong wind, there's a resistance there. Or if the wind's blowing, it can lift small objects, move them around, and provides that resistance. So that's how it can contain. It would not be able to do that if it didn't contain the earth element. So this is how, even though it's primarily wind, it shows that it does contain all the other elements.
아데 나네 두스토네 야스레 안도데 단다데 중화 테나라 감시 메버네 당기 워드네 당기 중화 첨부 라인바 중화 첨부 될라 사주면은 제네 듀바다 멤버다 시그레스데 콩디게 데시 아데 워드라야 아니 중화 테나라 감시 메버니 센티니 센티티 마 베자 시자도네 야스르죠 중화 테나라 감시 메버니 도라데 세 감추 감메 감수고요로와 지난 될라네 사소 뒤에 감기 싸워서지 란신도 짐바당 랑게 좀시체디 믹서기 깨와나 감시 당기고 어디 당기 중화당 중화 첨보시 되게 어다라네 이 당기 단다드 시엔마 조고도나 텐스디 줄로 툭툭서
Okay.
다다는 중화되나라 감시미 니세
Okay.
거대요 당기 건도 당기 중화 첨보시 라인바
Right.
아니 두바다 민바다 요와서 치그레치 디도자 디네 아니 중화 첨보세와 전신식 다는 딜라고다 예 당기 중화 첨보 라인바 다 중화 첨보 라야 될라 단다 신다제 요레스다 양 중화 첨보시베 전신식 데스 중화 첨보 라야 될라 아니 지고 롱시에 채워 있는 롱당 메시에 채워 있는 매당 태워 채워 있는 아니 사슬라고 그래서 랍차송아 아 디워들레 양 중화 첨보시에 신다지 요레스 단다 중화 첨보세 단다 이 가르스는 레벨론데 이 풍풍에 라지 지라 치야벌레 중화남 첨보시 유리체베 속 탐제기 땡임베도
알았어.
어디 라고다 그래서나 콜라야 중화 첨보라고 해서나 아니 그 탐지기 다 땡치고 여be 인상 아니 사주 멜론시들은 중화 첨보스라 그래서 가지고 속 유제로다 속 탐지기 그 땡치도 그 여be 인상 안 될래야 중화 첨보스지 어딘데라고 그래서 디치니세 맞
그래.
그게 시작도는 줄래라서
So moving on a little bit again, we've talked about how we're talking about these great elements and why they're referred to as great. So the first aspect which we've just talked about is they're great in terms of, sorry, not they're great. They're referred to as great elements because of their function. The second reason why they're referred to as great elements is because of they're the basis or the on which everything arises, or every other form arises in dependence on them. And it goes on to say that here, referring to them as elements, or which is, yeah. Oh, the whole paragraph. Okay. So thus, by calling them earth, fire, water, fire, and wind, they are differentiated from one another as well as from their resultant forms, such as the eye and so on. So this is what we referred to before, where it's how you differentiate wind, even though it contains the other elements, you differentiate it as wind, due to which is predominant. Then it goes on to referring them as elements, which is great elements, refutes the assertion that material forms such as color and shape commonly perceived in everyday world are primary elements, and demonstrates that these primary elements are in the parlance of the treatise textile objects that in the everyday world convention once refers to as shape as earth is revealed by example of how commonly one speaks of blue earth and square earth and so on. Now 129. I think that might not be the paragraph. No, that's not right. I think we might have jumped. Okay, sorry, I've gone way too far. So, in brief, what is referred, so sorry, forget what I said, I was reading completely the wrong thing. Here, the paragraph is, in brief, 127 at the bottom. In brief, what are referred to as the four great elements that act as a constructive cause of coarse physical phenomena, such as the five sense objects of visual form and so on, must be understood in terms of the function of supporting, binding, maturity, and moving. The reason these primary elements are called elements is because these constituent elements such as earth maintain their own natural essence such as solidity and so on, and serving as constituent elements they generate the eyes and so forth. So they act as, the other reason why they're called great elements is because, one, they perform that function that we talked about of supporting, binding, maturing, and increasing, but also that they act as the basis for the arisal of all the other forms, serving as constituent elements, it says here. They generate the eyes and so forth.
사소 뒤에 감기 싸워서 랑신 랑랑기 짐바단 랑게 좀시체리에서 믹서 제와는 감시 자서 로변 제베세 타웨 신이 저듯이 다들 콩디셔가 이니세 중화될 감는 세감 추감 매감 당기 중화슬랍 중화 첨보랍 중화 첨보서들라 탄다 직시 니시와 직디 칠레션이시 직디 아니 유천의 시에서 다 중화들은 중화 감스라고 해도 가래슬랍디 중화되남라 감시 메와디에슬로다 감 세감 추감 매감 눈감라고다 어디라고 해서나 베나 사소 뒤에 감라 싸워서 그랑랑게 그 전부 감스 대전 쳐라 사두바 망고이데 엔데사레스 룽모 슈크첨부 망고이데 데 룽게 감레스 매 슈크첨부이데 데 메레스 아니 추슈크첨부이데 추레스지 고 대전 예초고이데 엔데라야 감스지
Okay. So it talks about it in terms of also it talks about it in terms of this element is more come as like a sphere, right? So there's three ways you can differentiate the form. It's on its causal basis as a producer, it's on its function, and it's on its sphere or its element. And this element is illustrated that when you gather many of this like earth particles together, right, you form like a solid substance that could be related to as earth or perform that function of earth. And this is the sphere of Earth. When you gather it together, it forms like larger or recognizable entities.
어디라 딜라고에 데 가르스나 나딜라 디 쿵디 셰레 르면 제베세 타베 신인 저기르셰 튼셀레 랑기 친이당 교르치베 수진베 실 감다고 시 랑기 친이 싸워서 교르치베 수 미글라스베 지스메 감다이나 감접제니 랑당 지 친이 진베 실 대달라 되베 아니 리기 되니 감이노스 제가 감접제 샤도 데 두스체니 고 감디 중앙 줌된도 콩도 된데 셰레로
So it goes on to the nombezodi look.
로 르면 제베세 타고 신인 저기 셰 튼셀레스 중앙텔라 감시메와는 사소디베 감시는데 콩셰로데 콩디 가레스나 르면 제베세 타고 신인레스 랑기 친이기 교르시베 수진베 실 감다고 슬로도
So it goes on to explain what's this element or sphere. They are called elements because they maintain their specific characteristics and they maintain their derivative form. This means that they are elements because they maintain their specific characteristics such as solidity and so on. They maintain the form of the eyes and so on derived from them. So this is the reasoning why, this is the aspect that's referred to as the element of form. Yeah, come to so because of the 18 elements maintain the specific general characteristics or become in reliance on these characteristics, they maintain their continuity. They are elements. Right? When the teaching of the 6 elements. Okay, stop there. Okay.
나 감접제디 가래랍디로 디직싱으로 딩은 좀 내가 좀 감접제디 딜라 대전 숨체오래로 유체 홍보체 니 셔와스로 유체로 대전 숨 유체 홍보체 셔와체 숨체로 다 숨딜라 유딜라 툭체로 홍보딜라 툭체 셔와딜라 툭체되네 두순접제체로 감접제사로 두스래
Sorry, go on.
Truk.
Right. So this is where it talks here about these 18 elements. What are they referring to here? Well, you have basically for each of this 6 aspects, you have the object of the 6 consciousnesses. You have the faculty or the power of each of this, so the eye sense faculty and so forth. You have the 6 of those. And then you have the 6 consciousnesses themselves, so the eye, sense consciousness, and so forth. So for each of these 6, you have the 3, or for each of these 3, you have these 6 aspects. So this makes a total of 18.
다딜라 페나 가레스나다 수 치기 수 툭디 가레라나 수 다티로 렉자 아니 유간데 최스제로 툭샤오라 치 유툭 샤오라 수다 티로 렉장아지 대가나 최스제로 네 미가옹 나오면 좀 루종 이종 것이 옹보 툭제로 당기다 옹봉에가나 이종 보자고 다디네 셰와딜라 미기지 나지 미시 나시 제시 루시 이시체 루시체 나시 마시 대가나 이지 투 셰와 투 옹보 투 유튜브 두차선다 감독 스테이트 감접제스 두숨접제.
Okay, so just to go over it, so you have the objects themselves, the 4 that are perceived by the 6 consciousness. So you have the eye sensory object, or the so the object of visual form. You have auditory or sound. You have smell. You have taste. You have tactile form, and then you have the object of the mental form, consciousness. So that's the first 6, the 6 objects. Then you have the 6 sense powers or faculties, so the eye sense faculty, the ear sense faculty, and so forth through to the mind sense faculty. And then you have these 6 senses themselves, so the eye sense consciousness, the 6 consciousnesses, so the eye sense consciousness, the nose sense consciousness, ear sense consciousness, tongue sense consciousness, tactile sense consciousness, and then the mental sense consciousness. So these make up 18. Has everybody got that 18? Yep. Okay, cool.
다들 come true 샤도데 come true 때문에 양 시베 7기 20 come 20인데 시베 제버지베치 교 come true 되베치 다들 중앙에서 제가 당하란서 먼저 미세하게 come true 를 되는 이게 come true 되는 다들 제가 저저 제메요 나다 저절라 펜도 빼요 저저 신배는 come true 신배는 제메 나 냠nen치디네 마글라 come true 선 제제 중이선 come 접제선 민딜라베 거는 제셔요 말와 다 디나라 제셔 제부도 당한서 디시나 제메 come true 가르스나 사추메 롱체 난가체와 남시 다네 come true 디 디다면다냐 사추메 롱체와 사주메 롱 시체와 디간란 네 남시체와 마체와 디간란 난게 come true 디 먼저 류버디 디제 초대다. 먼저 류저와 먼저 류디 사추메 롱시시 용시시 대간은 남시여라 먼저 남시지 ngache 대간은 나게 감접 감 죽디게 먼저 기부 초대리 기부 감죽 되베 싫으세거다.
근데
기부스도 간상으로와 기부 감죽 되베 싫어. 근데 우마는 제투면 나서도 기부 삼이 추마이 메멜롱면 나가면 남시 마인 꿈이 텔레신베 기부 강하다. 맞아요. 중에 땅아 맞아는 게 라고 강바도 가만히 봐도 싱그러워. 아니 주디나 그 좀식이에 사추 밀롱레레 남시르에서 말말. 도도도세 마카레스다. 동반이 돈다 상당히 도저신오다. 도저 마시나는 간상하게 다시도서 야고 신고요 말아. 감죽세도 도됐다.
So it's important to understand this word element, or sometimes you could say sphere, or you could even say realm for this word come in Tibetan. But it's important to understand the meaning of how these things are referred to. So we talked about the 18 elements here, or the you can also talk about it in terms of 6. They normally they say 6 spheres, I think it is. Normally translated the 4 elements plus the spatial sphere and then the sphere of consciousness. Do they normally use sphere for that, or realm for that one? Anyway, either word is suitable depending on the context. So you could say this 6 spheres in this situation, and this is very important to understand from a tantric perspective what these different 18 kind of elements or spheres are, or these 6 spheres are, because it's said that these 4 elements plus the spatial sphere plus the sphere of consciousness is what makes up a being, right? And so this can be very useful for understanding emptiness, because you can say that, okay, if this is what constitutes a being and you're looking for this grasping itself, is this self in these 4 elements? Is it in the spatial element? Is it in the consciousness element? And when you eliminate or don't find it in those, then this inherently existing self, it helps to understand emptiness in this way.
그래서 이제 감기 된다 시에도 시에선 대달아서 감기 되니 랑신당 균이가라 주고 그랬을 때 감 된다. 감 시에선 대달아 감기 되니 랑신당 균이가라 주고 어서
right. So when it goes on to talk about, there are 2 subdivisions of the primary elements: external primary elements not associated with mind streams of being, and internal primary elements associated with the mind stream of beings. Gyuntang tunbaro.
말해. 근데 이 감로와 시에선 감기 되니 랑신당 균이가라 주고 그랬어. 랑신당 균이가 주고.
Dini Rangshin Karilov.
Rangshin said, Mayna May Rangshin, Chu Rangshin. Goes around, Tep the Rangshin.
Oh, Gonda, okay. So the meaning of the word, sorry, I've jumped ahead again. The meaning of the word element pertains to both the essential nature and to the cause.
Oh, did
it?
The Rangshin lady, Codin Lever, Sig Codin.
Right.
Bena, Mela Rakbatan, Chu Rangshin, the Chu comes down. 먼저 매일 추리 러그면도 매디 추란시 말와 거다 추추코란 추란시는 아니 매란실라 매스든 코란란시 카가카가 요인다. 근데 제가 되게 감자 주감 매감 해야 돼.
Okay.
어디 거야 돼. 야구도 가 거야 돼.
So when we talk about this in terms of the essential nature, we can say that the nature of fire is quite different from the nature of water, right? Like we can definitely have a distinction between the nature of fire and the nature of water. So that's what it's talking to the essential element. I really personally prefer the word sphere here. To me, it makes more sense. So you could say that the sphere of fire and the sphere of water are the nature of those is quite distinctive. So to understand it in that way, that's what it means by the nature.
다디 컴세디 전다디 직직다. 다디네 중앙라라 중앙라다 양자 중앙신 중앙라 낭세기 아니 주주지 마드웨 치중앙당스 주주지드웨 난이도 중앙이요레스다로.
Okay. So did you come?
중앙라 주에 주다대로다 고 매게 차회한 신기 규칙 그래.
Right.
아니 추기 렌신 셰베 규칙 그래.
Right. Okay.
진짜 안에 매라야 매감 주감 그 젤레 당기 이제 색베 자와요 아니 그 유 가르치가서는 매 가르치 그래. 매유 가르치네 가르주지네 색베 자와치 그러와. 색베 자와치네 사실 색버스 롱게 양식 요외 자와치가 요외 인상 아니 롱세제 롱게 감 매감 주감 세데 어디 유 주다고 젤레지 차네는 그 민도다래 감세데 민도다들레레스.
So then when it refers to the cause of this sphere or this element, it refers to this is more like the function. So fire's function is to burn, like it's hot and burning. Water basically makes things wet. The function of wind is that it's light and moving. So in this sense, this is what the cause is referred to in the sense that the fire's core is the cause of something burning, right? Water is the cause for something to become wet and so forth, right? So this is how we understand the cause.
어디 다들 감세디 단다신라 펜도도 알아.
Right.
이건 저 감라도 갈라 그러서. 근데 도단 담만다요. 대전 수술 감라 그러. 감. 먼저디 공부하나라 디틱디 디제 잘해요. 감전서 그러. 감전 함도 감전 듀 감전식도 감세지 대전 감전 롱버스수 대전 미수수 대살라. 아니 감전생 공부하듯이나 감전식으로.
Okay.
민 디코디오 공부하나라 디틱디 라다야 example 야 오시죠. 인지 tik을 감전라데 감라데 내가 하고.
Okay. Yeah. So it's important to understand this word come. That element here or sphere. The example is you could say that in the Gomba, like in a monastery, they have what's called kamzen. You know, so you have Teo kamzen, Hamdo kamzen. This come here is a way of like almost differentiating, like makes, you could say, a sphere. So you have the Teho sphere and then the Hamdo sphere, or you could say the same with countries, right? You have like the sphere of New Zealand and then the sphere of Australia and so forth. So this is what's meant by this Tibetan word come, or my favorite translation is sphere. You need to understand the meaning of this word, and the monastery is an example. It's an easy to understand example of the meaning, where they have different kamzans or different spheres for the different like houses or parts, different houses of the monks.
감접지에서는 장가당보 자도 갈래도 알아. 당보 배자 당보 따디 감접지에 미거이 감된 아니 감스는 갈라고 알아. 감스는 하고면 아니 걔는 깨지티라. 아니 저는 감지는 안 돼요. 함도 감지.
So when I was studying in the monastery and I was studying these 18 spheres or elements, and I was trying to understand what's the meaning of this word come, sphere or element. And then I asked my teacher, and he said, "Well, where do you stay?" And I said, "Well, Hamdo comes in." He said, "Well, this you stay in one of these spheres. Like Hamdo comes in as one of these spheres." So he's just like, "Do you not know where you're staying? Come on!"
수수 대사 수수 하마고
Right.
아니 수수 수보 수수 하마고
Right.
수수 셈 가르고 수수 하마고 아주 강에 들려더라.
And this is the difficulty that many of us face. We don't really know where we are. We don't really know what our mind's up to, and we don't know what our body's up to. So, not surprisingly, we have a few difficulties because of this.
너네래다. 수수 가요 근데 하마고 대대로다. 근데 다드네. 다드네 중앙라 낭세기 기부 주지도에 마두 기부 주지 마두와 치중 치 두슬람들이 치중아 낭중아 시와치나야고도 배정 중앙들라 치중아 낭중아 여체 다음에 치중아다 낭중에 켜와 가르스나 기부 주지 마두에 중앙데 치중아레스 기부 주지 두와데 낭중아레스 람나 아니 야고차로
Continue. So now we move on to the two subdivisions, the primary element, external primary elements not associated with mind streams of beings, and internal primary elements associated with the mind streams of beings. So this can be more easily understood in the terms of, and we've talked about this before, external form and internal form. So external form is anything not associated with the continuum of a being, like a cup or something like that, and then internal form is anything that is associated with the continuum of a being, like Rangi Zugpo. Yeah, so like your the physical body of a human being, for example.
Human being like human being body 중화 람디단다 중화 사취 멜롱 셰게요와 치기 중화디 네 사취 메처럼 들려비오마 치기 중화들라 사취 치기 사취 멜롱도 샤와 나한게 정도 수군나라 연구가 사취 멜롱디 샤와.
Oh, sorry. Not the body itself. It's the primary the elements, the earth, the elements within the body. So in this context, because we're talking in terms of the primary elements, it's the primary elements of external form, like the elements within a cup, for example, or the primary elements.
For example, water, fire, wind.
Okay, so or water or fire or wind.
컵디 중주. 단단 아주 중화시고. 컵 중주로, 컵디 중화 말해. 컵 중화 줄 말해. 그때 단다 하모라니 줄 가지고 있는 줄. 중화라도 사취 멜롱 딜라고라. 다 컵단 탭도 중화 말해. 중화 줄와 중화 중주.
So the external elements, earth, fire, wind, and water, or the internal ones, so the elements that make up one's physical body, or the elements that make up the external forms. These would be the separation between this internal or external form.
다음은 기부 주지 두바, 기부 주지 마두바스 이제 단다 카레스 다마 띵사로 돌아. 그래서 가시 라고도 하대. 그래서 띵상 응아라도 베제 단다 예제로 베제나라 열. 여면 베제를 하고 베제 단다 상마 베제나 여마 개개는 땡고 개개 마데나나 때 기부 주지 두바 카레로. 기부 주지 두바 카레라도 베제나라 여마라 가라고다. 와 치 중화데 기부 주지 마디거래. 낭 중화데 낭 중화라고 그래. 먼저 수부나라 사추 멜롱 여러 데라고 그래. 디 기부 주지 두바레스. 치기 사추 멜롱디 기부 주지 마디거래라. 다음은 기부 주지 두바 마디버스나 카레로. 다들 되시고 그래.
So it's important to not only read but also get explanation from a teacher, because not everything is always in the text, right? Like not everything is maybe explained fully in all of the text. So, for example, it's not clearly differentiated that the difference between external and internal primary elements within the text. So that it doesn't clearly necessarily differentiate how the internal elements are the elements within or connected with the continuum of a being, and the external ones are those that make up the basis for form that's not connected with the continuum of a being.
데 직생으로 먼저 디 낭배 추진나라 기부지 두면디사데 직대 빼망고래. 봐. 디 기부지 두거래. 디 기부지 마두거래 사들래. 망고래 그래. 다디 탄다 가래라디. 다 콜라 펜이 도베 이나로. 콜라 펜바당 펜바와 펜바하고라 펜토바 콜라 펜토바다 콜라 네바제나 안돌라 초와디도 깨토기 봐. 안돌 콜라 펜에 도나 초와디도 깨마더니.
Okay.
Pena nge subunan ge juwa nyamna nge subunan ge ane juwa metro nyamna nga kyagre da. Ane nga la chowa dido ge do. Nge subunan ge ane lung mang tha na nga be angry person chagre inde chagre be moving wa. Kashi inde lagba targu do kondosan lung mang tha go subunan. Ande nga chowa du nge ge do. Jiza 콜라 녜 수분한게 중화 사단 추단 매드 롱도절 페네로데 나라 동해지기도 제가 녜 수분한게 추매 롱디게데 녜 셰베 심벌 기우 듀지 기우 듀바 임베데 기우 쫄라 페네도나 나라 저와도 깨토고 요베니다 아니 기우 듀바 아스데다 다 거주 띵서로 도서라
So this word associated with the continuum, or sorry, this phrase associated with the continuum of being, or not associated with the continuum of a being, comes up quite a lot. And it's important to understand the meaning of this. So basically, we can look at it in terms of whether it directly benefits or harms a being. Or you could say whether it directly produces a feeling within that being. So, for example, if you had gone to the chagidana,
nge sugunala ani lung mangbo yona lung la penyo dona lung nyung thana 강해직 되래. 롱망 타나 나라 강해직 되래.
그래.
그다 네 수분나 롱데 네 기우 심벌 기우 듀.
Okay. So for example, if you talk about the wind within the body of a being, if there's less, then it might be like you might feel cold. If there's less or a reduction in the wind, you might feel cold or something like that. It would produce a feeling. Also, if there's an excess of this wind, then it can produce anger. You know, when people have a lot of this wind and then you get angry. And this can produce the feeling of suffering. So this is something that directly produces a feeling within a being, or you could say directly benefits or harms. So this is how we differentiate whether it's associated with the continuum of being in this context, whether it benefits or harms or produces a feeling.
제가 내가 치기 배신 매단 추단 도절 감바이나 nga lamsang ala dungai ke thu mendo chu me bajana da dungai da yongro lamsang leg maro.
Right. So for example, an external thing like a fire, like if something outside was on fire, that doesn't directly produce a feeling. Like if the fire was to reach your body, then yeah, it would directly produce a feeling. But when it's further away, it doesn't directly produce a feeling. You might get some mental reaction to it, but it's not directly producing a feeling.
Oh, did you do money like this? The red lion or red lion, Juma Shitara Nita, the shelter, Chesan red lion, Pena, the chigi Juma, any such melon shidilla, and a ragbajik than tomagic. Nanking on the subu de lion, ragbajik the tomagic. Other than they your race order.
So then one goes on to. In each of these, in turn, can be differentiated. So again, we're on page 128, in the third paragraph down, midway through. Each of these, in turn, can be differentiated in terms of subtle and coarse primary elements. They are also contexts where differentiation is made. For example, between earth, water, fire, and wind, understood in the conventional terms of everyday common usage.
타니엘 지나면다 데트시오레 지긴 용다도 타니엘라 네 사주멜롱 슝네 셰웨 수징 규르규웨 사주멜롱 신 중화시체 나말라 사주멜롱 잔단사 아니 치말라 아니 세감 추감 메감스네 타니엘 근데 체요레스 월다 디안네 저거 랑데나레 살서바당 세감스 치라지 지긴게 타니에데 네 카도유라 사시주 시에선 된바나 Okay,
so and when we understood in conventional terms of everyday common usage, and the four primary elements of earth, water, fire, and wind that are said to be the cause of physical entities. So there's the physical entities commonly referred to as fire, water, and so forth, and then the primary elements, which are the causes of those. In this sense, the first kind are known simply as earth, fire, wind, water, fire, and wind, whereas the later are referred to by the additional qualifying in the term elements, such as earth element, water element, and so on. For example, the auto commentary says, what subsets are there of earth and so on, and the earth element, and so forth. The treaties state, in common usage, what is called earth is colour and shape. Thus, when earth is taught, colour and shape are taught. And in just the way earth is taught, also water and fire. In worldly usage, water and fire are called colour and shape. Or else it is similar, states that in just the way colour and shape are called earth, so too wind, called blue wind or circular wind.
좋아요.
Oh, do we have any questions? We have one here. Any, Philippa?
So the four elements are provide everything.
Yeah.
So what is the four elements? What is the original cause of each of those elements? I mean, is the earth being beginning with an E? I mean, is the fire beginning?
You mean the primary element?
Yeah, each primary element.
Primary element. Okay.
Is it might be the previous element of earth, but then meaning that it's beginning with the E?
Okay. So when we talk about these primary elements. So the four primary elements of earth, fire, wind, water, and they are said to be the cause for producing all the other types of form, but they too must have a cause. So what is the cause of these? Do they just produce from the previous moment of that element? Are they beginningless and endless, or how are they produced and so forth? Is that right? Okay. So the Chongwa Shi, right? Konza di gyu labgire, right? Yina rang nobore, so rang gyu yube kyab. So kongi gyu karire, di nalok su chungware, or di semdraware, dini tangbo yomare, any tama yomare, or tangbo yo, any ke gyak, dini yo, tangbo yo, any tama yo, kandi.
통마라, 찌들라. 중앙 추, 사추, 메롱 찌라 통마 되네 중앙에서 라요 말해. 통마 매워래.
Beginningless. Semdraware.
치달라 통마 열어봐. 치달라 통마 열어. 치달라 통마 열어서. 배낭도 포변한 게 추딜라 통마 열어. 포바든.
네.
치달라 통마 열어. 찌들라 통마 열 말해. 디 낭바 지당 시나다 그러는데.
So
찌들라 통마 열 말했어.
디 총원시 디 통마 열 말해.
중원시 통마 야야 디 주택하네 디 주카네 디 야야야야야.
Okay.
디 통마 당보 되네레서 라트야 말해.
Okay. So for the primary elements, we can't posit a beginning for that. Right? They are produced by the previous moment of that. For what is constructed by those elements, I guess constructed or produced, you could say, like a cup, for example, that we can posit a beginning and an end. But for the primary element itself, yeah, it's beginningless. We can't posit a beginning and an end.
얘도 되래다. 먼저 배나 중원도 맞아. 배나 탭디로 탭디. 탭디게 주디 야야야야야야. 되는 통마야 말해.
So if you take the causes for this book, right? Take the book as an example, take the causes. Those causes go back. You can never find the beginning for the causes that produce this book. But each cause has its cause and so forth.
근데 상상을 죽으라고 차라고 그래. 상상을 탐모진, 상상을 두든 탐모 반난달라. 야 대로요. 야고 추루제, 야고 파탄, 야 추루제, 야 파탄도 되거든.
So these primary elements, sometimes they come together to make up a gross form, And sometimes they'll dissipate and just be like primary elements out there, and then they'll come together and be part of something else, a gross form, and then go back to dissipate into being just individual primary elements. And so this kind of cycle. So okay, so then how do they relate to consciousness? Because what's their relationship to consciousness? Because there must be a relationship between the beginninglessness of consciousness and the beginningless of these primary elements. So dini di chungashi tang namshi di drawa kari yo kanyo sene nipa di tomameba tangbo yom di kande di drawa kande yo re
dedaro pena zambuling de do je ta nangbe shung she go ra pena di do yo re ta dang do modern sound is big bomb like do
big bang right
di do ro ba ji di do ro ba ji chung yo re ta da long ro long dang zambuling de thamo cha de long chan long jing go a long la de ne chu cha ba chu le long la de ne me cha ba me cha ba lung kor jab de mecha thabucha
okay dili
thabucha de chucha chulle ne ane sacha salacha ne ane shine saje buji ane rocha ro du cha ro
dizambuling
di chada de de shera da nangbe shung she da de ro de she de tangbo de ge zambuling chaya ge düden changma be thorje de ra da be panna ga
big bang
mare big bang panna da big bang ge she mare 파나가라 토르디 데더다 düden tozo 상마 디 düden tozo 파나가라 두스 카트럼 데데라 zambuling yo marda 나가 똥바 동장 이데 다디 삼대 당보 나오나 삼대 당보 게다 삼대 당보 게 아니 하다 두즈 망보지 똑보만 냠제 zambuling 게도가다 냐와 zambuling 신다게 아니 로어딘데 데츠용야게 kulong namdo ge long do ji le kulong do nuwa do ji le ngo da sing kulong do ji lo dile ne de to ge ane long gen chin ju ji cheje ane long chung ju ji chungje ane long cher do ane mecha ane chucha ane sacha du san de muling she da de nangbe shung ge do da de ji dan je ma le de le dina be ji dina la yo re de le di do da de res
okay
딜레데네 네 ngazo 지든지 심제 망보 세베지기 심게 누바디 녜라 레구여 답에 누바디 똑게 롱디 툭구 치롱디 툭구여다 치롱디 레구 다디 내려와지간라 삼루당기여다 낭베기 지당기 좀시도다 잠블링 차다한테 내려와지 디찌기도 나려와지고
Okay, then so for example if we look at the composition of like a planet like planet Earth, similar to what scientists would say, you have this wind comes, like from the Buddhist perspective, the wind comes first, and from this wind is produced fire, and from that is produced water, and then from these are produced earth. So these separately go along the way. I mean, scientists say something similar with gravity, pulling all the elements together and producing these things. But from a Buddhist perspective, it would also said to be conjoined with a god, such as a being on the first level of concentration, the first dhyani, or something like that, who has this motivation. Through their motivation, the power for this wind element arises, and then that then produces the fire and the water and so forth. And it actually goes through so that it actually goes through this in this text later, so we'll get to it. But it's also said that it's the power of many sentient beings' minds, right? Many sentient beings actually come together to allow a planet such as planet Earth to be formed.
Tadi dewa nganzo nange nganzo semdan chige sugla dewa pena nganzo mi ge semge di powenang chudi chutongore ro. powenang chudi. Ta idaji yona idaji ro. le gemba sang idaji tana di powenang chudi chutonggoyo mare. 그 갔던 거래 타던 거 타. 와 먼저 추통 거라
Okay.
달 하지 레스나나 하러 다신게 하지게 포와디나 따스나나 추디 düzir
Nectar.
따디 제가 셈기 되어요 따고 배 유통단데 셈단 되어요 어디 배약셔 되다
So we can say that the connection to the mind, how things are perceived, is very much connected with the mind. And there's the example that's often used is that as a human being we perceive the contents of this cup as water. A hungry ghost would perceive it as blood or pus or something like that, and a long life God would perceive it as nectar. So this clearly illustrates how it's deeply connected with the mind. This element in this concept.
저도 알아 미 하나도 삼바지부 당 셈바게 셈나라 디기 단데 요나 나로 강변난게 싱다 메도다 두도 야고지기도 아니 삼바지부 메고 콘도스타 삼바마지부 되나 싱다 메도도 야고지기면도 되어요 돼 resultado 하고 그러면
So also we can see that if our minds, like people are happy and harmonious and so forth, then their surrounding environment, like flowers, grow well, and plants and that do better. Whereas if the people's minds are unhappy, then this has an effect on plants and the environment around them, right? Plants don't do so well, and so forth. So it shows how we're interconnected with our environment.
지금 먼저 셈다 치근고보 되어요. 치근고보다 먼저 셈래 되어요냐. 파 되어요, 추 되어요.
So we can see that both ways, that our mind is connected with the external objects, but external objects, physical objects, are also connected with the mind. So there's like a mutual connection there.
진짜 좋거든요.
So how can the third type of mental form, imagined form, be non-conceptual? I think it's the fourth type. Is that right? Discussion group. If you look on my page 20, imagined form is the fourth one. The Chugikeche. Yeah, the discussion group 합던 영마 Chugikeche is 나낭라. The sheep the imagined form the share the tambo the ngara yewanga Chugikeche yewanga yore. And the sheep the so the tambo the
양다고 랑벌레 중에서 뒤로 띵이띵도 없어더라.
나 thing up the sheep the
시바디 양다고 랑벌.
양다버래.
양다고 랑벌서더라. 아래 시바디 아래 양다고 랑벌.
So it's non-conceptual. The talkba mapper?
네, 통매, 때문에
통매래.
통매.
The 카레체니 통매래 카인스니 the zogre and 통매. Skeletons just.
The 카레체니스나 세요 말이들. 데 줌쟁 가래라나 콜라 응어버네지 맞다요 이제 숙들라 통화의 요직 토니직 와 아니 숙들라 통화의 요직 토니면이직 숙들라 토야면 요 통화면 요직 숙직 디 제메 데 곰장 스스생 누가 전부에 되는 싱그레 단단한 저 싱그 말이야 이 도마 좀 된데도 당보 류트만이샤 당보도 셴도 류트만이샤 곰도 당보 속 먼저 수분한 그 참뭐 상마 장가자도야나 시던데 배 셴열래 되네는 소그남샤 카라카라 이메드즈라 봐도 셴 그래서 제메 띵인진 곰네 싱그레메 싱기요래 다도 와이 줌젠데 코랑 소코랑 게 야와라 딘데지 응어이네질레 요래 이는 단단 먼저 싱게요 말에 먼저 로디 누바요 말에 단데디 이는 줌젠 삼다요라 먼저 줌젠 삼단 셰적으로다 니나 롭존 셰적으로 당원에게 하고야 돼 아니 먼저 단다 통화의 수도 싱그레 통화의 통화면 배나 통화면 수 가려서는 ben 렘보 렘보 통화면도 그 통구도 하자 하고도 하잖아
Yeah.
example 약쇼직 돼요 So
there's nothing. What I don't know what. Obviously, I can't remember everything I've said. There was no mention of it being non-conceptual, but rather non-impeding. So I don't know. It said this form is non-impeding. So there's types of visual form that are impeding, like a table. And there's types of visual form that are unimpeding, like a rainbow or this example here. So there's that type of form which is you can see and is impeding. There's the type of form that you can see that's non-impeding, and then there's the somebody tongma mepa togma meparo.
And the then consider then the sukshiva se kundu and the kundakwe suksa the shake is sukshiva. Dear. Chiva kora kat and chiva sukshiva derves kundakwe sukwa. Sutangbola karayosena delaya deora. Duale chume suk. Duale chume suk. Momba kavi suk. Yanda bolambole suk. Kundakwe suk sushi jo. Sungal onjove suk. Kundakwe suk sushiva deredwate. Sukshiva de chiva ina. Midobo gombewa yigi namshila kinru sashi kinru ki chabatago.
Did it.
The chiva di land di dila jagu yoro. Tia the midobo kinru ki sashi chabade any pena ganzo pena dambo ganzo sashi kinru chabs samna la sharanda shadow mena. Nilam nange tada langbo nangwa. What did it? Nilam nange tada langbo dozo. This tendere kundakwe suksadreda. Nilam nala. Nilam nang zo ta na lang bo chi me dang chu dang de dang do o de na shi
de togma me ba kare
de tong me ro ne de ko kawai na yu do re wang phö la yu do re ja ga yu do nge nga nilam na la nge nilam na la da men da la yu do ro nilam na ge
okay
ko thoya me
I look, I mean, I don't know if I said the wrong thing last week, so I did. There's no mention of being non-conceptual, but rather non-impeding. 121. Imagine forms comes and clearly perceives meditative focus. Bottom. It is said mental cognition. Oh, okay. All right, now I understand. Should be understood as non-conceptual mental consciousness. So I'll just say what Geshe-la said anyway. He was talking about why it's non-impeding. So it's this visualization of this concentration, the skeletons and so forth, arising, this imagined form, but it also could be what you perceive in a dream. And it's non-impeding because, in a dream you can...
Dream ki nalogi tada langbo tuzula or dream ran la ayo mare. Dream mardan dream just shora.
Yeah, the form within the dream is non-impeding because wherever you imagine, you can just imagine that place and that will appear, and also obviously there's no physical resistance for the form in the dream. Did tewa mare di shloka di wambai zonang laro. The ola, the 5 types of mental object form. The chogi zug nga, konzo di tog non-conception togme.
Togme. Chogi je su sangma togme re. Sangma laere mara. Sangma togme re.
Chogi zug sangma
togme re.
Karechine. The
togme is ko shewa kawa dose yudela do de shewa togme rago. Dirita.
So it's said to be non-conceptual because this mind, like all of these mental object forms, are non-conceptual because the mind itself is non-conceptual, right? So wherever you imagine that mind being, it goes there. But the mind itself can be said to be non-conceptual. So they're the forms of that mind. No, di mare. Non-conceptual. Sorry, togme means non-impeding and non-conceptual in Tibetan.
Amjunya. Togbala do dire. Tosanga.
Yeah.
That dine ba dinane dus rosha nana tomere. It's not similar to the toyo mar sim kasagol judora. She's not sim sude dinashiri, dine doyama go kasagol judora. sim that
Okay.
what
So
do
yeah, so impede means that you can't cut through it like that. So togme in Tibetan means not impeding, but it also means non-conceptual. So non-impeding means that there's physical resistance like that, and non-impeding means you could physically pass right through it. You know, in the Pechanangla, the togbe sem takpare, right? Togbe sem dinangla, the togbe sem tokpa. Tokpa togme, the same nangla tokpa namtok, di tokpa dire, right? Tokpa di chogi keche togme, namtok me paro, di tok di, you know, the tokpe sem takpare. The pigeon and the
ale na din mare chiwo koran chenda shu ku sa da cherang de nga yo tokbe ge nawa de thunjire tongme ge nawa de ngobre odi la ta
okay
tongme danda sem danda chö dingin din do wa anda sashi gyuru ge chapjin dingin din do dingin din de tongme
okay right
tongme de ge nawa sha den jo ge gyuru do zo ngobre ngobo da ngobe na ne sheware dame di jero sana sugre sug hage tokwa la nawa de takware odi chawaro da
okay. All right, now we got to the bottom of it. Sorry, the word, it sounds to me exactly the same. Maybe it's my Tibetan pronunciation that's terrible, but so when we talk about the difference between conceptual and non-conceptual, right? The conceptual is like the generic image, or the meaning generality, as sometimes it's translated, and that's permanent. So this, if it's mental form, it's necessarily non-conceptual. So because if it was conceptual, it would be like a generic image, or which is said to be permanent and therefore not form.
Penadanda di chuji su de penangando gomjabje ne sashi jingru chapdo da. Dendegi gomjani gi tingin tongme xiao
So using the example of the concentration meditation where the space is pervaded by skeletons, this concentration itself is non-conceptual. Right? The concentration is non-conceptual.
Bena duslare benangzo pejena dandang onshi do angzo mishila nawa de ngobre mishila dandang nawa joro
right
mishila nawa de ngobre mishi tongmerwa tongme shewal nawa de takwa ngzo tongme shewal chu nang tu go mare 제가 아니 똑발라 나와디 똑바 차송아 믹실 나와디 뭐그래 가르스나 고 동메 셔래
근데 그랬지
믹시
야 멕시코에 나와디 저기
믹실 나와디 뭐버체
그래
아니 똑발라 나와디 딱바체 어디 여신 그래서
So the way you could understand it is that if it's appearing to like the eye sense consciousness, for example, that which appears to the eye sense consciousness is necessarily impermanent. That which appears to talk about like conception is necessarily permanent.
이티교하신 대전은 당기 띵이진데 사주근의 차와데 동메셔버려. 제가 그게 예 사주근의 차줘야 되게 상마됐다. 가르래랍됐다. 뭐버려나 데 셔버려베스는 셔와 말해. Okay,
so this space pervading by skeletons, example of this imagined form, it is appearing to the concentration, which is non-conceptual. And because it's appearing to this non-conceptual concentration, it therefore must be a functional thing or impermanent. And within impermanent, there's three types. There's consciousness, there's form, consciousness, and non-associated compositional factors. So because it's not consciousness, these skeletons appearing, they're not consciousness, and they're not non-associated compositional factors, so therefore they must be form. So We'll stop here, but to finish off, if you read the rest of the chapter on the causal primary elements, we got some of the way through it, but not all of the way through it. So if you finish off reading the rest of it. Right. Okay. Right, okay. Yep. So when we talk about each of the elements containing the other four elements, so like our external wind also has earth, fire, and so forth. What about the subtle wind that is connected with the subtle mind? That does this also contain the other three elements? So nanzo di sung chiloki chongwa shi, right? Pena longyana dini meya saya ini chuya, right? Longyana. You know the long rakpa, fire and water.
그래서 나 네게 먼저 여기 네 냠래 마치니나 아니 시르드 롱 참고게 롱 심탐의 롱저라 롱되게 파도게 류기 녀len식 왔다.
파도 녀len기
줄다.
녀len기 줄. 롱디
파도 류기 녀len기 줄다.
Okay. So it can be referred to in this way because it is said that this subtle wind, when you die, for a non-practitioner, for a non-meditator, when that person dies, this subtle wind is said to be the primary cause for the body in the bardo. So that's why it contains the other four elements. Okay. So for a practitioner, then the subtle wind can be said to be the cause of the Buddha body. Okay. Okay. Sangye jindu me te uwagi drakon nam dak shin la chu pa sho ichun nama chaksan pantugi nandan hale pintele padi tasan tempa jasan chashwandi alai pansa chakto nyochi idam guru ratna manama kamne yadayami 62 sections to be turned into the Buddha. And in scientific section.